What's up, YouTube? It's Monzingo. Today I'm gonna be showcasing a Fire Mage opener macro. This macro, I've only got 934 item level, so I don't have the best gear on my mage. But this macro lets me compete in Mythic Pluses and other areas of the game. And not be that far behind, even with my gear not being quite as good as it should be. And I'm running one of my legendaries is for Arcane. It's not even for Fire. Now I do have the best in slot bracers. The talents you're going to want to choose to make this macro work is Fire Starter, Shimmer. It doesn't really affect the macro, but it's probably the best one. Rune of Power, Flame On, don't have to worry about this tier. Unstable Magic, and Kindling. And I take Kindling because I know Meteor does good damage, but Kindling allows me to get back into combustion more frequently, and the damage output in a longer fight just seems to really trump Meteor, so that's why I run Kindling. Okay, let's we've seen the talents. The gear you're gonna want to have for for Fire now used to be crit, but the way it works now, mastery's better. So mastery over crit, but still some crit's good, but mastery over crit. Okay, we're gonna jump right into the macro now. The macro, I'll have a link in the description below for the macro, but this dude is just going nuts on this target dummy. Let me move away from him for a minute. Jesus. The macro is slash cast, reset equal 20, Rune of Power, Scorch, Fire Blast, Pyro Blast, Fire Blast, Pyro Blast, Fire Blast, Pyro Blast, Phoenix Flames, Pyro Blast, Phoenix Flames, Pyroblast, and so on. Really simple macro for an opener damage, make you do just retarded damage as a Fire Mage. I've also made this bigger so that you can see the numbers that it can do even with my lower item level and with having an Arcane headpiece. Let me think. This tier is situational. The rest of it you need to keep like this. Now with Fire Starter, we don't start right away in combustion because we do have Fire Starter, which is gonna, if the target's over 90% health, we're gonna get a crit. So the way you're gonna want to run this is just you're just gonna pop Rune of Power, Scorch into it, then pop combustion. But not after a few seconds, and then you just keep spamming your macro until you run up, and that's the end of it there. And as you can see, the damage I did was totally bonkers. Fire Mages, in my opinion, have probably one of the strongest openers in the game, period, because of combustion and just the way that they work. They're just so fast. They're able to put out so many Pyroblasts with their cooldowns in the first 15-20 seconds of the boss, that most of the time, if you've ever done any raids with any really good mages, you'll notice that their damage just spikes up in the beginning. It may fall off a little bit, but it spikes up really, really high in the opener. And you can also pop potions and stuff with this. I didn't, but if you do use potions, use a potion of prolonged power. It's the best potion for DPS. I think for all DPS. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking for all DPS it's the best. potion. And as long as the target is above 100% health and you have fire starter, you probably just want to use like your basic, you know, just basic attacks, because you'll notice I'm getting non-stop crits. So when you start on a boss, don't start with combustion. Let him get under 90% health, then use your macro maybe. Or just use one rune of power just for the first start. But you can pretty much just, as long as it's above 90% health, you can just keep pumping out pyro, 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 pyro. And then if you get the bracers, which I have a proc right here, watch the pyro blast. I mean, it's a huge hit, huge hit. I've gotten that to hit for over 9 million, or 5 million, excuse me, over 5 million damage on one pyro blast with the proc. But alright, that's gonna end the opener macro guide, and I'll show you the macro one more time. It's right here. Also, I'm going to put a link to this in the description, so you can just copy paste it really easy. And if you don't know how to copy paste into the game, you know what, I'll show you that right now too. So you'll just make a new macro, name it whatever you want, say DPS, and then you'll copy it from my description. You'll just copy it like regular. You'll just highlight all of it and, you know, copy it. And then you'll come to the game, you'll select inside the box to where this is blinking, and then you'll hit Control V. And if you hit Control V, it'll just paste it right in there, and then you hit save, boom, you have the macro. So just as easy as that. I haven't talked a lot about these macros, but I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just do it while I'm making this one. I was going to make a whole another entire video for it, but I'll go ahead and do it now. Let me make this smaller. Okay, this macro here is a slash cast at cursor flame strike, and okay, let me put flame strike right here where you can see it. Okay, see, this is regular flame strike. If you'll notice, it has the icon on the ground where you can place it and then cast your flame strike. Now what this macro does that I have right here is it cuts that out, and it just casts it wherever my mouse is. So if I put my mouse here, and you'll watch, it casts it there. If I put my mouse here, it casts it, let's turn where you can see, over there. See, and I can, you know, get it as far as the range is on it. You can get it, you know, a long ways. And you can also, some people don't know this, but you can blink as a mage while casting, so it makes it real fast too. You can just boom, and then just, you know, and then boom, flame strike. Also, I use it for Ring of Frost, the same thing, slash at cursor Ring of Frost, and what it does is just, instead of doing that, it just puts Ring of Frost right where my icon is, as you can see. See there? I don't even have to mess with the second portion of it. And I also use it for Meteor, which I'm not running Meteor right now. And then my other macro that I use all the time is Focus, slash cast at Focus Counterspell, and then slash cast at Focus Polymorph is another really good one. These two macros, the Polymorph and the Spell Lock, you don't have to worry about them so much unless you're doing PvP. But the other ones are just time saving. They're really good macros. I find it to be one of the most useful macros I've ever used. Saves a lot of time, saves a lot of headache too, especially when you're getting those instant procs and you're wanting to throw flame strike down real fast. It makes that super easy. But alright, I guess that's going to end it for this one, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more guides